Okay, so let's look a little bit now at how the Braille Trail connects with Visual Brailler and how that works so that we can think about whether this would be a useful feature. Of course, in order for the Braille Trail to work at all, you have to have VoiceOver on, and VoiceOver works a little differently with Visual Brailler than some apps. So we'll want to examine that and see what we think. But I'm going to go ahead and power my Braille Trail on and power VoiceOver on.
VoiceOver on. Landscape.
And I got an
Home button to the right.
connection.
Visual Brailler. Text field. Is editing. Unpronounceable. Braille.6. 24. 24. 1235. 135.
So I'm going to go ahead and do a P chord there. The biggest thing I've noticed at this point with turning it on, while VoiceOver was reading me lots of information, I do not have any Braille display on the Braille Trail that would correspond with what VoiceOver was saying, which we would expect in other apps. I do have the flashing cursor button at the bottom left, so that's a piece to consider or continue to explore if we can figure that out. I have figured out that in order to get the most accurate Braille display on Visual Brailler, that we need to be in 8-dot uncontracted Braille input between the Braille Trail and the iPad, and you change that in settings on the iPad. You go to accessibility, VoiceOver, Braille, and do input at 8-dot uncontracted Braille. So there are a few elements that you need to know that are different. If you're going to backspace or enter, you can't use just the backspace or enter a new line key. You have to do those as a chord with the spacebar. So if I want to put another new line here, I'm going to use that .8 key on the far right of the Braille Trail and the spacebar at the same time.
New line.
If I do just the .8 key,
space,
it says space. Nothing happens. So I'm going to backspace and come back up a new line. So I'm going to do the .7, the far left key with the spacebar.
New line.
And come back to do that. So now just to write the basic alphabet, you'll see a couple lines above. I've done some playing around just with writing the alphabet, which I can just input with 6-key uncontracted Braille on the Braille Trail.
A, space.
So you'll notice it said A when I pushed A on the Braille Trail and then said space. I again do not have any Braille on my display other than the flashing cursor. So the A is not there. If I try to go back up a line.
Text field is editing. Unpronounceable. Braille.6. 24. 24. 1235. 13.
It's not finding what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and do a B.
B.
And again, nothing shows up on my Braille display when
space.
I write. So I just have to go with what I hear. Just with the alphabet, it gives me good information. As we get into some more complicated things, that could be a problem.
C, space, D, space.
So you see I'm able to write the alphabet just fine. If I wanted to write Bob.
.6, B, O, B, space.
I can do that, and we see in SimBraille exactly what I wrote. But then I'm going to go to a new line.
New line. Braille dots 1, 1, 2, 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1.
And you'll see when it reads back that new line, once I've entered, rather than reading the names of the letters, it reads the dot names. Which, until you understand that, or if you're able to process that, could be a problem. I'm going to do one more new line so I have a space in between. So again, that's the .8, the Braille input key on the far right of the display with the spacebar.
New line.
And I have a Braille Music handout. It's actually Music Braille handout. PDF saved on my computer that I found on the Texas School for the Blind website. And there is a line of music that's just treble clef with 2 flats, 3/4 time that they're using in this handout to demonstrate how to use octave marks. And they have both the print and the Braille displayed. And so I'm going to just write the Braille that they have there so we can see if this comes out. And the first thing it starts with is a .5, which is an octave 4 mark, and you'll see that it will say .5 when I write, but it's not going to show anything.
.5.
But then as I go on and write the rest of the characters that they have there,
Braille pattern dots 12,004. Braille pattern dots 2,000. Braille pattern dots 200. Braille pattern blank.
It writes exactly what I see on the screen. Obviously reads those differently so that it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Braille pattern question mark. Braille pattern blank.
And again, I'm going to have another .5 that it's not going to show.
Braille pattern dots 12. Braille pattern blank.
And then the next two characters are letter T in literary Braille, and then a .3, and it'll write the T.
T. Apostrophe.
And I write the 3, which in literary would be an apostrophe, and it does not put
Braille
it.
pattern blank.
So those are the only two things I've found so far, just from this particular display, that it does not write with the Braille trail. I don't know if there's a way to change that. I've been playing with computer Braille code, trying to put it with a space bar, different things, but I haven't found that. If I'm wanting to write just single dots, I'm going to go to a new line.
New line.
It'll write the 1.
Braille pattern blank, comma. Braille pattern blank.
2, because that's a comma.
Braille pattern
Does
blank.
not write the 3.
Braille pattern blank. .5. Braille pattern blank.
Doesn't write the 5. It did write the 4.
Braille pattern blank.
And it does write the 6. So I'm not really sure what the reasoning is behind that, or if we'll run into other characters that it will not write. But so
Space.
far, and there I tried to go to a new line and forgot that I needed my space bar with my new line.
New line. Braille dots 1, 2, 4, 6.
I'll use my P chord to make the voiceover be quiet. That's what I've discovered so far, and the abilities and limitations of Visual Brailler with the Braille trail. So take a look, think about it, let me know if there are resources we can access to get any of these questions answered, or if we need to go another direction. Have a great day.
Screen recording in progress.